In this room of the Bainbridge Laboratories, selected representatives of the press and scientific world are gathered to witness one of the strangest experiments yet attempted by men. There is an atmosphere of tenseness as 5 of the world's foremost inventors make last-minute adjustments on a weird mechanism of wires, tubes, and scientific instruments known as the Metallogen Man.
The dynamometer, Mr. Arnold, please.
Metallogen disc, Doctor. Thank you.
Well, that's it, gentlemen.
Professor Arnold.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 2 long years of painstaking toil, months of research and many failures, my colleagues and I have created a mechanical creature sensitive to the impulses of electronic energy. This robot represents harnessed power undreamed of by mortal man. The world is on the threshold of a new era in scientific advancement. Metallogen men will free the human race from the shackles of manual labor and industrial enslavement. We are now ready to prove our claims.
That granite block must weigh a ton.
Would a couple of you gentlemen be good enough to examine that bank vault door to be certain it is locked? Oh, it's locked all right. Thank you, gentlemen. We will now see if the Metallogen Man can open that door.
Scientific circles have been set agog by this astounding Metallogen Man. Captains of industry have already expressed keen interest in its potentialities. Manufactured in quantities, these robots will be able to ease the burden of human toil. To the 5 scientists who invented this mechanical giant belongs full credit. No doubt a grateful public will bestow upon them the laurels to which they are so justly entitled.
Professor Ames, Professor Marsden, you and your co-workers are usurping the glory and the credit for an invention that is rightfully mine. For that reason, I am forced to destroy you.
That man is mad. We must go to the police without delay.
You're right. Professor Shaw, listen closely. Your colleagues, Professor Marsden and Ames, died because they knew the secret of the Metallogen Man. You are to be the third to meet their fate. You have 1 minute.
Hello! 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 Who's there?
Following closely on the mysterious deaths of Professors Ames and Marston, tragedy has once again struck at a member of the Bainbridge Laboratories. The body of Jonathan Shaw, co-inventor of the recently perfected Metallogen Man, was found at his home late last night, apparently strangled to death. Police are baffled about the identity of the murderer.
Ghastly. Fantastic.
I wish you two had never become involved in this invention.
That's right, Miss Bell. We're all in danger, I think. I never did like that rabbit no harm. Not from his first consumption.
You'd think the police will be able to unearth some clue.
Oh, I'm sure they're doing all they can.
Nevertheless, I think we ought to take every precaution to safeguard our invention.
I took the liberty to already arrange for that.
Dad didn't think you'd mind, Professor Ernst.
Mine? Certainly not. I'm delighted. Just what have you arranged, Arnold?
Since we've already concluded a deal with the Brady Company to manufacture these robots, I've asked them to remove our model to their plant without delay. They're sending their engineer, Ken Morgan, to supervise the packing and shipping.
His train arrives today at noon. Dad and I will meet him at the Union Station.
Excellent. Excellent. I'll feel a good deal safer when this Morgan gets here.
That must be him.
Mr. Morgan?
That's right.
Professor Arnold sent us out here to pick you up. He said he sent you a telegram to get off here instead of going on through to the Union Depot.
Yes, I have the telegram right here. I was a little puzzled at the change in plans.
Well, the professor's a very busy man. Sometimes he doesn't know from 1 minute to the next what he's going to be doing. You know how these scientists are.
Yes, I've met quite a few of them.
I'll take your bag. I hope you don't mind riding in this truck. It's all we could find. We had to leave the lab in such a hurry.
It's all right with me.
Fine. I think the rear door came open.
I can't understand why Ken Morgan didn't come in on that train.
Dad, could he have stopped off at the Oakdale station by mistake?
I don't believe so. But maybe we'd better go there to make certain. Well, Flash, drive us to the Oakdale station, please, and don't spare the horses.
I'll be glad to, Professor Arnold.
Nordic calling.
Go ahead, Nordic.
We got Morgan, just like you ordered.
That's fine. Now relieve him of his credentials, and you, Nordic, assume his identity. Then pick up the rover to the Bainbridge laboratory and bring it here.
What do we do with Morgan?
Get rid of him. I don't want any trace of him left.
He's as good as done for right now.
The end of Mr. Morgan.
This is what we want.
Thanks for stopping. I've had an accident, and I'm in an awful hurry to get to town.
Well, we'll be glad to give you a lift. Where can we drop you?
At the Bainbridge Laboratory, if you happen to be going by there.
Well, that's a coincidence. I'm connected with that organization. I'm Professor Arnold.
Well, you're just the man I'm looking for. I'm Ken Morgan of the Brady Corporation.
Ken Morgan? Well, what are you doing way out here? Dad and I just left the Union Station where we were supposed to meet you.
I'll explain that on the way, Miss Arnold. We mustn't lose any time getting to your laboratory.
What's the hurry, Morgan?
I have reason to believe that your invention is in imminent danger of being stolen.
Flash, we haven't a moment to lose. Did anyone call here to pick up our metallurgian man?
Yes, sir, Mr. Kenneth Morgan.
Well, that man tricked you. This is Mr. Morgan right here.
Why, he showed me his credentials. He and another fella came here in one of our trucks.
You better call up the police and report the theft immediately.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they got the control unit, too.
What's this?
Where did you find that?
Right over there near the door. What is it?
It's the metallurgian disc, the most vital part of the robot. Without it, the automaton can't operate.
It must have come off while those men were carrying it out.
Once they discover it's missing, they'll undoubtedly attempt to regain it.
I'll place it under lock and key where they'll never find it.
I know just the place. The cellar vault.
That's an excellent idea.
Here, Babs, you put it away. Well, I call Professor Ernst and tell him what's happened.
Wait a minute. For all we know, that line may be tapped.
Didn't think of that. I'd better go see him personally. And that's how it stands, Ernst. The thieves have vanished without leaving a single clue.
At least we have one thing to be thankful for. You have the Metallican disc. Without that, the thieves can't operate the robot.
Well, that's little consideration for all the work we've done. If only Morgan had reached here a day sooner, our invention would now be in safekeeping.
What makes you so sure this man you picked up today is the real Morgan?
Oh, why, he explained that
He explained, yes. But you admit he had no credentials. And though he claimed he had an accident, he seemed to be unhurt.
Yeah, that's true. Well, there may be something in what you say.
Of course there is. For all you know, this Morgan may be in league with the thieves who got away with the Metallican man.
Well, what do you suggest?
To be perfectly safe, say nothing to anybody, trust no one. Furthermore, suppose you remove the disc from the vault and let me take care of it. Don't forget, this alleged Morgan knows where it is at present.
I have no objections if that will relieve your mind.
I assure you it will.
Very well, I'll bring it here this evening.
Fine.
According to these blueprints, the Metallican man works on a combination sound-light wave principle.
Exactly.
What does this specify?
The remote control unit which operates the robot. Every movement and gesture made by the automaton is caused by the operation of one or more of these dials.
Seems a bit complicated.
Oh, it isn't really. Notice how simply the dials are located on the board.
I'll take care of this for you.
Oh, no, you don't. Now, you better let go of it if you don't want to get hurt. Now, give me the keys to the car. I will not.
We'll take good care of it for you.
Oh, I know, but you're not going to... Oh!
What's wrong, Arnold?
They've stolen the disc in my car.
What? There's no use trying to chase them. We better call the police. On second thought, I don't think it would be wise to call the police just yet.
Those men have stolen the most vital and irreplaceable part of our machine. Don't you realize what that means?
Well, certainly I do. And I'm just as upset as you are. But let's not do anything rash.
I don't understand your attitude, Ernst.
The police didn't accomplish anything when you reported the theft of the Metallican man to them, did they?
No, not yet.
I doubt if they ever will. Unless we can figure out something more tangible to report to them. Otherwise, we'll merely be sending them on another wild goose chase.
Well, I admit I don't know what to do or think.
We've got to think this thing out. There must be some angle we've overlooked.
Thank you.
I wonder where Dad could have gone at this time of night, especially without telling me.
Maybe he got tired and went home.
That's possible.
Why don't you call and find out?
All right. Hello, Katie. Has my father arrived home? He hasn't. I see. Thanks.
Could he have gone over to Professor Ernst again?
I never thought of that. I'll phone him.
No, let's drive over instead. I've heard so much about this Ernst, I'd like to meet him.
All right.
Are you sure Morgan didn't see you leave the laboratory?
I'm positive no one saw me.
Yet someone knew you were coming and exactly what you were bringing.
Pretty obvious someone knew about it.
Excuse me just a moment. You stay right here. See if you can remember someone to whom you may have talked. I'll be right back. Nice work, boys. We haven't failed you yet. Excellent. With this, I can put the rest of my plan into operation.
Double-crossed me, Ernst. You're the thief.
Yes. But the knowledge won't do you any good now. Take him downstairs. You go ahead. I'll get rid of whoever that is. Why, good evening, Miss Arnold. Pleasant surprise.
Good evening, Professor Ernst. Oh, this is Mr. Morgan, Professor Ernst.
How do you do? How do you do?
I came to see if my father's with you.
Well, no, he left a long time ago. But, won't you come in?
Thank you.
I haven't seen your father since this afternoon.
I had hoped to find him here.
You say Professor Arnold left here quite a while ago?
Yes, indeed.
Then his hat must have flown back in through the window.
Stop!
Keep him covered. I'll take a look around the place.
Mind if I smoke?
No, go right ahead.
Will the scheming Ernst get control of the Metallogen Man? Is Professor Arnold doomed because of his scientific knowledge? And what will happen to Miss Arnold? Don't fail to see The Edge of Doom, the second exciting episode of The Monster and the Ape, at this theater next week. Ken Morgan is attacked by strangers and almost killed while on his way to investigate an amazing invention, the Metallogen Man. Professor Arnold, the inventor of this robot, is trapped by a mad scientist, a man named Ernst. Morgan and Arnold's daughter, Babs, attempt to rescue her father when suddenly...
You say Professor Arnold left here quite a while ago?
Yes, indeed.
Then his hat must have flown back in through the window.
Drop it! Drop it!
Keep him covered. I'll take a look around the place.
Mind if I smoke?
No, go right ahead.
No, I'm all right.
It's a good thing you fell on that rubber mat.
You're telling me.
Well, what about these men?
Never mind them. Your daughter's upstairs with Ernst and may need our help.
Clint! We'd better get out of here.
There must be some way to open this fireplace from this side.
I hope Babs is safe.
Let me out of here!
Well, you two certainly turned out to be a help to me. Letting Morgan beat the daylights out of both of you.
Well, he took us by surprise.
Where's he now?
He and Arnold are trying to find the way out of your lab.
They'll starve to death before they do.
Go down and get those fellas. I'll force them to let us out of here.
I'm back at the fireplace. Look for a concealed button.
Are you all right, dear?
Yes, I'm quite all right.
What happened to Ernst? You were supposed to be guarding him.
Oh, he locked me in a secret closet, and by the time I managed to get out, he was gone.
Then all three of them escaped.
I don't see how the two men downstairs got out.
I don't know how, but they did. Fortunately for you, they didn't take your Metallogen man.
What about the control unit?
It was in the other room a little while ago.
We'd better take a look and see if it's still there.
Right. It's gone.
Yes, I expected that.
We better call the police.
I'll do that right away. Police department, please.
Yeah, it looks like we won't be able to stay at your house any longer. Not for a while. Do you think the cops will pin the murder of those other scientists on us?
Oh, stop your gabbing and get us to where we're going. I want to get back to work.
On what? Arnold's got the robot.
But I have the control unit. Arnold and Morgan have it all figured out how they're going to make these machines for the benefit of humanity. But they're figuring without me. If my plan works out, I'll utterly crush their exalted scheme.
Yes. Yes, I see. But you will keep me informed of any development. Thanks, Inspector. Well, the police have found no trace of Ernst and his men.
They're too smart to be apprehended so easily.
What worries me is that Ernst is likely to make another attempt to steal your Metallogen man.
Why should he? After all, he knows the secret of its construction and can easily build one of his own.
One most important thing stops them, Ken. Metallogen.
You're quite right. I did a little investigating on my own, and I found that meteorite metal is practically non-existent.
You're right.
I bought my girl some perfume once. It is supposed to be non-resistant, but it didn't do me any good.
I just thought of something, Ken.
Yes?
If there's any supply of Metallogen to be had, Dr. Felix Wayne of the Greystone Museum would know about it.
Is he in town?
Yes, do you think I ought to call him?
No. I'll go have a talk with him.
Good idea.
Are you still tinkering with that control unit, Professor? You're playing for trouble.
What makes you think so?
If you figure on using this gadget to walk the robot over here, you'll have Arnold and everyone in town follow it right to this place.
Just what gives you the idea that I have any intention of recapturing the Metallogen man at this moment? While we were in possession of the Metallogen man, I hid a microphone and a transmitter inside of it. They are tuned to the television wavelength of this control unit. Thus we shall be able not only to see what Morgan and Arnold are doing, but also to hear whatever they're planning.
Find out from Dr. Wayne at the Greystone Museum.
Merely what we already know. The only available Metallogen is on display there.
Heavens, if Ernst should learn of this.
Yes, I warned Dr. Wayne that there might be trouble. He closed the geological exhibit today, and for added safety is placing a 24-hour guard over the museum.
Well, if so, then the Greystone Museum is no immediate danger.
That's where Arnold's mistaken. Think of it. Metallogen. Rarer than gold. More precious than emeralds. Right here within easy reach.
Yeah, but how are we going to get hold of it?
By doing the very thing against which they're prepared. Without fail, we should obtain the Metallogen tonight.
Babs, come here. I started to check its mechanism and I found that.
A transmitter and a microphone.
Ernst must have installed that while the Metallogen man was still in his hands.
That means he must have overheard every word we said.
In that case, he knows of your trip to the museum.
You two wait here. I'm going over there. Come on, Flash. Turn off the boiler and turn on the gas.
Huh? What? Oh, it's you, Mr. Morgan.
Come on, make it snappy.
You sure can do things sudden like. Where we going?
To the Greystone Museum. There may be trouble there.
Don't you think we got enough trouble here without going there?
I got both guards, like you told me to, boss.
Anyone else inside?
Not a one.
Let's get that door open. Forward.
Break it down. Break it down.
Push. Forward. Shut that thing off before it gets the whole neighborhood over here. We'll have to work fast. That alarm undoubtedly rings to some patrol station. Forward. Come on.
Here it is, over here.
Good. I'll hold the ball while you pack the container. Down.
Somebody must be coming. You wait here, Flash.
Put out your flashlights. Hide behind those doors. We haven't a moment to lose. Get that Metallican out of here. Never mind him. Get that stuff out of here. Get that 8. Clear out.
Flash! Flash! Flash!
Go away from me, you big baboon. Let me sleep.
Take it easy, Flash. I'll be back for you later. Come in.
going on here?
Well, well, with a lethal weapon right in his hand.
This ain't no weapon. It's just a razor.
Think of that. Just a razor. And I suppose we find any bloodstains on that, you'll claim you nicked yourself while shaving.
We'll haul him in and grill him.
Grill? Grill what? Who, me?
Take him down to the car, Mike, and I'll see what other damage he's done.
Come on, sonny boy.
Oh, you can't do this to me.
Oh, yes.
That car seems to have been trailing us ever since we left the museum. Slow down and see what he does.
He's trailing us all right.
The side road a little further ahead. Turn up, then step on it. Pull over and stop suddenly.
Will Thor, the ape, become a willing tool of his evil master? Will the treacherous Ernst succeed in cornering the world's supply of metalogen? Does danger threaten Professor Arnold and his daughter? Don't fail to see Flames of Fate, the third exciting episode of The Monster and the Ape, at this theater next week. Professor Ernst, with the aid of a giant gorilla, steals the world's last known supply of that wonder metal, metalogen. Ken Morgan attempts to recover the precious metal, but suddenly...
Well, with a lethal weapon right in his hand.
This ain't no weapon. It's just a razor.
Think of that. Just a razor. And I suppose we find any bloodstains on that, you'll claim you nicked yourself while shaving.
We'll haul him in and grill him.
Grill? Grill what? Who, me?
Take him down to the car, Mike, and I'll see what other damage he's done.
Come on, sonny boy.
Oh, you can't do this to me.
Oh, yes.
That car seems to have been trailing us ever since we left the museum. Slow down and see what he does.
He's trailing us all right.
There's a side road a little further ahead. Turn up, then step on it. Pull over and stop suddenly.
That's the last time he'll trail anybody. Now to get that ape back to the zoo. down past my house. See if the police are around there.
Okay, Ernst.
Coast is clear, Ernst.
All right, Naughty.
No. No, Thor, put it down. Down. No, Thor. Put it down. Come here, Thor. No, Thor, no. Come here. Get him off. Come here.
We'll meet you at the usual place, Naughty.
here any minute now.
Hey, Mason.
Yeah, who is it?
It's me, Artie.
Kind of late tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, the ape had a touch of colic and I had to fix him up. Yeah, I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah, betcha.
Here he comes.
Everything okay? Smooth as silk. Let's get out of this car. Bring those metallurgy containers inside. All right, Ernst. There you are, Professor. The only known supply of metallurgy in existence, and that's what I call a good night's work. Good. With this and my knowledge of the metallurgy man, I've practically got the world in the palm of my hand.
You might as well count us in on that, too.
This isn't metallurgy. What?
It's got to be.
It's nothing but coal dust and phosphorus. We've been tricked. Do you think Morgan and Arnold got a hold of the real stuff? I don't know. But you can depend on it. They pretty well know where it is.
That sure puts us behind the 8 ball. They've not only got control of the metallurgian, but the robot as well.
But you still got the control unit. They've rendered that useless.
And we're late.
No, only delayed. What we must do is find out Arnold's next move, then take the play away from him. Have you got any ideas? A pretty good one, but it must wait until morning.
Why, Ken.
Hello, Babs. Well, you certainly had Babs and myself worried about you, Ken.
When you didn't call last night, we were almost frantic.
I knew you'd be worried. That's why I called as soon as I could get to a phone this morning. I'm sorry I wrecked your car, Professor Arnold.
Oh, never mind that. The fact that you're alive and that the metallurgian is safe more than makes up for the loss of the car.
That was certainly clever of Dr. Wayne to fill those containers with a worthless chemical. By the way, where did you hide the real stuff?
In a place nobody would ever think of. We'll go over there later on and pick up the container which the museum agreed to let us have.
Why, Flash, what happened to you?
I just had a misunderstanding with 2 police officers.
You were arrested?
I was only pinched.
What for?
They accused me of carrying lethal weapons. All I had was a razor. Them policemen, they grilled me, just like I was a pork chop. But they's the one who got burnt up, because they couldn't prove nothing.
Well, you go home and take it easy today, Flash.
Oh, thank you, sir, Professor. Oh, I almost forgot this. I got it on my way in.
Thanks, Flash. Say, this is good news. My company has decided to manufacture the robots right here in the city, providing, naturally, a suitable factory can be found.
Well, if that's the case, I happen to know of an empty warehouse on the corner of 3rd and Hammond Streets. It might just suit your purpose.
Good, I'll take a look at it.
I have an appointment with my attorney, Martin Gilbert, this afternoon. His office isn't far from there. If you like, I'll drop you off on my way.
That suits me.
Come along.
And his daughter know where metallurgy is hidden. Morgan is going to warehouse, 3rd and Hammond. Arnold has appointment with attorney Martin Gilbert this afternoon.
That's all we need to know. And Arnold won't be the only one to keep that appointment.
Thanks for the lift.
Do you want us to stop for you on the way home?
No, thanks. I don't know just how long I'm going to be here.
Well, we'll see you later then, Captain.
I'd like to take a look at this building. I may be interested in leasing it.
Go ahead, mister.
Freight elevator back there goes to the upper floor. What's in there?
That's the washroom. It's locked, and I haven't got a key to it. Raise your hands, Morgan. Face the wall.
Let's get him out of here.
Pardon me, sir. Aren't you Professor Arnold?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Morgan told me that you and your daughter were in that building and described your car to me. I've been waiting for you.
Why should he do that?
He'd like you to come to the office of the Hanson Realty Company. I believe it has something to do with a lease of a warehouse.
Oh, yes. Well, thank you very much.
Where's the office of your company?
Well, if you don't mind my riding back with you, I'll take you right to it.
Oh, not at all. Come right along.
Well, thanks.
You sit in the rear?
All right.
Now, are you going to tell me why you hid that metallurgian, or aren't you?
My mother told me never to talk to strangers.
I have a way to make you change your mind. Butler, make sure that oven is plenty hot. This conveyor was used for feeding bricks into the firing oven. I'm sure it will work equally well with a charming young lady aboard. Place Miss Arnold on the belt.
Don't tell him that! Don't tell him!
Stop it. I can't stand it. I'll tell you.
Come into your senses, eh, Arnold? Where is it?
At the Ace Cold Storage Company. Pocket 37.
Where is the key for it?
My right-hand coat pocket.
All right. Make the lady comfortable again. I'm going after the metallurgian right now. It had better be there. Hold them till I get back. Take me over to the East Coast Storage Company. Make it snappy.
All right.
you, Mr. Morgan.
Will Ernst's mad schemes succeed? Will the robot turn on Professor Arnold, its inventor? Will Thor, the ape, become a menace to his cruel keeper? Don't fail to see The Fatal Search, the fourth exciting episode of The Monster and the Ape, at this theater next week. And Arnold, the inventor of the Metallogen Man, are overpowered in a deserted brickyard. Under torture, the professor tells where the precious metal has been hidden. Ken breaks loose and attempts to rescue his friends, as suddenly...
You, Mr. Morgan.
Untie Miss Arnold. What's thinking, Professor Arnold?
Ken, look!
Let's get these ropes off and get out of here.
Hey, Butler!
Well, there goes our chance of stopping Ernst from getting that Metallogen.
Dad, why don't we contact the cold storage company and tell them not to let Ernst near your locker?
Well, I don't see how we can. It's a long way from here to a telephone.
And you can rest assured it'll be too late.
The best thing we can do is start walking.
Looks like you're right.
From now on, Blake, we're going to have everything our own way. I have all the specifications for constructing those robots. We've just picked up enough Metallogen to operate an army of them.
I gotta hand it to you, Professor. Especially for the way you put it over in those storage plant people.
All that took was just a little nerve.
I suppose you want to go back now and take care of that meddling scientist and his two stooges.
No, that can wait. First, I want to go over to the municipal zoo.
Okay.
Wait right here for me.
Take it. Listen. Take it, boy. Take it.
I've got the metallurgin in here. You have? Say, that's swell. I want you to take this suitcase into my workshop. While you're there, make sure there's no police around the house.
And then you want me to report back here to you?
Bill Blake and I will drive past the place in the truck. If the coast is clear, signal from the front door.
You bet.
Get over to the Bainbridge laboratory. Find out how closely they're guarding Arnold's robot. You can pick me up here later.
Okay, boss. Hello, Babs. We brought your car back.
Where did the police find it?
Near the West End Viaduct. I must have wounded that one man pretty badly. There are big bloodstains on the front seat.
I suppose the police still haven't found any trace of the stolen metallurgin, they can.
No, Professor. And those people at the storage plant never suspected anything when Ernst, instead of yourself, came to get the contents of your locker.
Fact is, Professor, not only the police got confused, I got confused myself. And when I get confused, that's something.
What's your father doing?
He's trying out a control unit which he built before he decided to use metallurgin as the energizing force.
Let's hope it works.
That must be a message from Blake.
Morgan and others escaped. Arnold is now testing robot control unit at his lab.
I should have known better than to trust Butler and Flint to guard them. Get me that control unit.
This one seems to work just as well as the other one did.
Very much to my surprise, it does. Now, all I have to do is to make some minor adjustments on the robot to compensate for certain elements.
Dad, look.
Stop him before he wrecks everything.
Out of control, I can't understand it.
Something's out of order.
Well, it's a good thing you pulled that metallogen disc. If it hadn't been for your quick thinking, Babs and I would have been goners.
Can't make out whether this control unit or the robot itself.
You sure you feel all right?
Oh, I'm all right. Only very disappointed. I can see now that unit will not work without metallogen.
Dad, I wonder if Ernst could have been interfering by using the control unit which he stole from you.
No, I don't believe so. He had no way of knowing I was going to make my test.
Then that leaves us right where we were before. Needing metallogen, which we can't find.
That thing ain't coming back to life no more, is it?
It's all right, Flash. You can come out now.
I just thought of something.
What is it, Dan?
Come here, I'll show you. This is a radio detector, similar to those which the Radio Intelligence Division uses to locate illegal transmitters.
That's very interesting, but of what use can it be to us?
Radio waves and those transmitted by metallogen are very similar. Consequently, with this instrument, we should be able to find the place where Ernst has hidden those containers.
Well, what are we waiting for? Come on, let's go, Professor.
Arnold has the instrument which will enable him to locate hiding place of metallogen. Suggest you get ready to move it. I'm leaving here now.
That's a fine kettle of fish. Let me worry about it. You get back on your job. Rush it out to my old workshop on Highfield Road. You can pick up Butler on the way.
You think Arnold and Morgan can trail us there?
I hope they do. You'll be able to give them a rousing reception.
It'll be a pleasure.
Why did you tell me to stop here?
The needle has been pointing east right along, but just now it changed to a southwesterly direction.
Could that mean we've passed the place?
No, I think it means that Ernst is moving the metallogen to another location. Turn to the left at the next corner, Ken, and we'll see what happens then.
Very well.
I'll take this inside. You go hide the truck.
You better turn off here. The indicator points in that direction.
We better hide this. What for? There ain't nobody coming here. That's what you think. Let's stick it under the bed.
The needle registers peak intensity right here, and the indicator points toward that house.
I'll go over and take a look around the place.
Well, I better go along with you.
No, you stay right here. I'll be back presently.
Mysterious Dr. Draper? Why does Ernst make an attempt on his life? Who will be Thor's next victim? Don't fail to see Rocks of Doom, the 5th exciting episode of The Monster and the Ape, at this theater next week. Morgan and Professor Arnold locate the stolen metallogen, but before Ken can recover it, he is attacked by hirelings of the treacherous Ernst. Suddenly...
Thank goodness you're safe.
I'm all right, but those two men who were with me in there are lost.
No one could survive that explosion. And if the Metallogen was in their possession, we won't be able to find any trace of it either.
They had it with them all right, which proves they were working for Ernst.
Then we're beaten, Ken. That was all the Metallogen known to exist.
We'd better drive into town and notify the police. They'll want to investigate this.
It's a good idea.
It appears to me we ought to get this here rabbit to the junkyard now. In the first place, Professor Ernst has got the only control unit to make this rabbit work. And in the second place, we ain't got no Metallogen to make more of them in the first place. So where is we?
I'm afraid you're right, Flash. We're stymied unless Professor Arnold can discover a new supply of that precious metal.
Well, I'm a scientist, not a magician, Ken, so you're quite right about our being stymied. I'm afraid that robot will never work again.
Afraid? Why, Professor, that's the best news I've heard in a long time. Now, let me go. Let me go. Let me go!
What's the matter with him?
He and the robot just had their usual misunderstanding.
Look what it says in today's paper. Read that.
Science triumphs again. Secrets of Earth yield a new device. Dr. John Draper of Marshalltown University, eminent geologist and inventor of many scientific instruments, today announced his newest device. Draper claims he'll be able to detect the presence of meteorites which may have crashed to Earth and buried themselves into it long before the dawn of civilization.
Read that line. That's the really interesting one.
It's from certain meteorites that the rarest of all elements, Metallogen, is obtained. Well, if Draper can substantiate his statements, our problem may be solved.
You're right, but listen to this. It is recalled that Metallogen is the essential element of a robot recently invented by Professor Franklin Arlen of the Bainbridge Laboratories of Harrisville. However, lack of commercial supply of this mineral has crippled manufacture, arrangements for which has been previously completed. I suggest that you call this Dr. Draper long distance right away.
By all means, Dad.
You're right, I'll do it now. Hello? Long distance? I want to talk to Marshalltown, to Dr. John Draper. Well, what is it? Yes, this is Dr. Draper. Who? Professor Arnold. Oh. Yeah? Well, I understand your difficulties, Arnold, and I'd like to help you. But I'm very busy. Well, of course we expect to compensate you, and we'll make any reasonable arrangements. Well, that's up to you, Doctor. Just name the day. That's very nice of you. I'll be expecting it. Thanks a lot. Goodbye. He's going to wire me later in the day, just when he'll arrive here.
I'm so glad he agreed to come.
Shall I arrange for his hotel accommodations?
Oh, you'd better not. What we select might not please him. He seems to have a peculiar disposition.
As far as I'm concerned, he can have a flat head. Just as long as he gets some Metallogen for us.
Now, don't stand there knocking all day. If you must disturb me, come in.
Dr. Draper?
Who are you? What do you want?
My name is Anderson. I represent certain Western mining interests which have sent me here to consult with you as to the possibility of acquiring your new invention.
You're too late. I've already made a deal with someone else. I told you I made other arrangements.
Arrangements with whom, Dr. Draper?
With a Professor Arnold in Harrisville, if it's any of your business. Now, will you be kind enough to leave?
I'm sorry to seem persistent, but this is a matter of great importance to my colleagues. In spite of your commitment to this man, Arnold, if you could find a little time for us, we'd make it worth your while.
Not interested. And if you persist in wasting my time, how am I going to check this detector? I'm leaving tomorrow and have a great deal to do to get ready. I bid you good day, Mr. Anderson.
Good day, Dr. Draper. Just one thing more, Doctor. In case your deal with Arnold shouldn't go through, where in Harrisville can I contact you?
At the Standard Hotel. Now get out.
Thank you. Take my word for it, Flint. When I get through with this makeup, Draper's own mother won't be able to tell me from her son.
You could sure fool me with that beard.
Did you pack my suitcase?
Yeah, I put in everything you told me.
You didn't forget the shortwave radio and the microphone?
That's in there all right.
Fine. Now, give me my hat. Well, I'd better be on my way. Better let me out. Leave it open. You'll have to come back this way to phone the Standard Hotel.
Reserve a room for Dr. Draper of Marshalltown. You see, I remember my orders.
You'd better remember them. And don't forget to tell Nordic I want to see him shortly.
Right.
Open up. Don't stand there like a dummy.
I'm sorry, sir. No one is allowed in here without a pass.
Pass? What for? Professor Arnold's expecting me. He said everything was arranged. Tell him Dr. Draper's here.
Oh, that's different, sir. I have orders to admit you.
Well, don't talk about it. Do it. I assume you're Professor Arnold?
Yes, I am.
I am Dr. Draper.
Well, this is indeed a pleasure, Doctor. I'm so glad you came. Won't you come in?
Now that the preliminaries are over, let's get down to brass tacks.
By all means. I'm even more impatient than you to consummate a deal. I'd like you to meet my associate, Ken Morgan, Dr. Draper.
How do you do, sir?
As I explained over the phone, we are prepared to pay any reasonable amount for the use of your invention.
Reasonable? From my point of view or from yours?
Well, there's no good reason why we shouldn't be able to come to terms.
I have drawn up a rough form of contract by which I acquire a 25% interest in any profit resulting from the utilization of my invention.
That's a stiff price you're asking, Doctor.
Take it or leave it.
Seems to me you've got us over a barrel.
Wait a minute, Professor. I'm beginning to think we don't need Dr. Draper after all. You've already demonstrated that your instrument can locate metallogen in its pure form. Why not then give it a trial and see if it will lead us to a meteorite, which by your own admission contains a certain amount of that precious mineral?
I've tried that, Ken, but it won't work.
Why not?
Because the meteorite contains so little metallogen compared with other substances that my detector isn't sensitive enough to react to it.
I see.
Do I understand you already have discovered some metallogen?
Discovered isn't the word. We tried to recover it, but it was destroyed by a demented scientist who calls himself Professor Ernst.
Isn't that rather a crude way to talk about a man of science?
Man of science, my eye. The man's a thief and a murderer. And I'd like nothing better than to get my hands around his neck.
Gentlemen, these arguments get us no place. Dr. Draper has a price. It seems to be up to us to meet it or turn it down.
Precisely.
Still, before we sign anything, I'd like to know if Draper's instrument will do what he claims.
I'm willing to give a demonstration. That's fair enough, isn't it?
Go ahead. That's an excellent idea.
I need a half hour to make some minor adjustments in my detector. When I've finished, we can drive out to the rock quarry in Greenwood Canyon. That's where I made my first test a couple of years ago.
Well, since we expect you to be here for a while, Doctor, I'll show you to a room where you can do what you want in complete privacy. You can keep this room locked up, Doctor, and your telephone is a private line.
This will do. If you'll excuse me.
If there's anything you need, let us know.
I will. Municipal Zoo? I'd like to talk to Dick Nordic. I'll hold the line.
Here's a drink for you, Thor.
Hey, Nordic, you want it on the phone?
Okay.
Hello? This is Nordic.
The place is the rim of the old rock quarry in Greenwood Canyon. Don't waste any time.
Okay, I'll get started right away. Toward the vet. That was him who just called me. I gotta take Thor over there and get him a shot for his asthma.
I made my earlier tests here, I detected traces of a meteorite underneath that overhang of rock.
The needle doesn't seem to show any reaction.
I forgot the little antennae that fits into the socket. I'll get it out of the car.
Will Ernst succeed in his terrifying mission of destruction? What evil designs has this arch-fiend on Professor Arnold and his daughter? Don't fail to see A Fiend in Disguise, the 6th exciting episode of The Monster and the Ape, at this theater next week. The demented scientist disguises himself and tricks Ken Morgan and Professor Arnold into searching an abandoned quarry for a meteorite, the source of the extremely rare metallogen.
When I made my earlier tests here, I detected traces of a meteorite underneath that overhang of rock.
The needle doesn't seem to show any reaction.
I forgot the little antennae that fits into the socket. I'll get it out of the car.
Push! Push! Hey! Look out, Professor!
Okay, you better sit down here, Ken. Let me have a look at that ankle.
It's all right. I just twisted it a little.
I really feel responsible for this, gentleman. I should never have brought you to this place.
Oh, don't blame yourself, Doctor. The avalanche had nothing to do with your bringing us here.
Forget it, Draper. Let's go on with a demonstration of your detector.
Good idea. This is the antenna I went back to the car for. The movement of the needle indicates the presence of meteorite minerals. However, the slowness of the movement indicates that the quantity of such minerals is extremely minute.
What would happen if metallogen, for instance, were present in larger quantities?
In that case, the needle will move more violently, perhaps even be erratic.
I see.
I'm satisfied your detector will do the work. I suggest we go back to our place and sign the agreement with the doctor.
That's all right with me. If this instrument can help us locate a commercial amount of metallogen, we're ahead. If not, what can we lose?
You know, Morgan, I'm beginning to give you credit for a lot more brains than I did at first.
Coming from you, Draper, that's quite a compliment.
Come on, boy. Come on, Thor. Come here. Come here, boy. Oh, boy. Hey, come here. Come here, boy. Easy.
How's your little boy's asthma? The vet said he'd be as good as new. All right, Thor. Stop, Thor. Wait.
I ain't scared of you no more, Mr. Rabbit. I made my mind up to that this morning. Look at here, Mr. Rabbit. I'm gonna get that soap and ain't nothing you can do about it. Take it easy now. You know me and you is friends, remember? Mr. Cannon? Mr. Cannon?
What's the trouble, Flash?
That rabbit's got my soap on him and he won't give it back to me.
All you need's a little confidence.
I've got little enough now. If I had any less, I wouldn't be working here.
See? Nothing to be afraid of.
Thank you.
Well, I guess that does it, Dr. Draper.
Is that contraption over there your famous metallurgian man?
That's right.
I'd like to show you how it works, but unfortunately that's not possible right now.
If it doesn't work, why did you give it all that publicity?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with the robot itself. Only we don't have the proper control unit with which to operate it.
I don't understand.
It's quite simple. That unit was stolen from us by that madman, Ernst.
The more you tell me about this Professor Ernst, the more I'm inclined to believe he must be a very brilliant man.
Brilliant, yes. But an arch-fiend and a criminal.
Why are you in such desperate need of metallurgian to make this contraption work?
Well, it's the essential element in the robot as well as the control unit. On the theory of interradiation.
Sound scientific principle? I'd like to take a look at the metallurgen in this thing.
It's all right with me. Do you mind getting the disc scan, please?
Not at all.
This is my daughter Babs, Dr. Draper.
I'm delighted to know you, Dr. Draper.
I'm sorry I can't say the same thing about meeting you.
I don't understand.
Women have an unhappy faculty of upsetting men's plans. Personally, I wouldn't have it around my workshop.
Oh, Babs has been a great help to us. In fact, she's responsible for my having contacted you. Well, thanks, Ken.
I presume this disc carries energy waves to a stepper transformer on the inside of the robot?
That's exactly right. Here, I'll show you. That's all there is to it.
Well, let's not waste any more time on that thing. I'll get my detector, then Morgan and I can start out on our search.
Nothing can suit me better.
That man's the most eccentric person I've ever met.
I'm inclined to think you're right, dear.
Hello, Flint. Hello, Flint.
This is Flint, boss.
Take the metallurgen tube out of the robot control unit. Then you and Butler rush it over to Dawson's paint factory. So Draper's detector will work.
What do you want us to do after that?
Stay there. Wait until I contact you later.
Okay, boss.
Any luck yet?
There's nothing here in this part of the town. Suppose we try the industrial neighborhood.
Suits me.
Look at that needle jump. Why, it's going wild.
That doesn't necessarily indicate the presence of meteorite matter.
Are you kidding? You yourself explained how your detector works.
So I did. But look around here, Morgan. This is a manufacturing neighborhood with all sorts of electrical machinery in full operation. That undoubtedly explains this instrument's unusual reaction.
In other words, you're admitting that this machine isn't worth a Continental.
I'm admitting nothing of the kind. I merely feel that we shall have to look elsewhere.
And where do you suggest we look now, my good friend?
I'm leaving that entirely up to you. Everything worked out exactly as I planned. Get that metallurgin tube back to my workshop. Now you wait there. I'll put it back in the control unit myself.
Dr. Draper deliberately lied to you about the reaction of his detector.
I'm convinced of it.
Why should he? He's practically our partner.
I don't know what his motive may be, but I do know I'd give anything to get a hold of that detector and go back to that paint factory.
Well, you've been working rather late tonight, haven't you, Doctor?
Time is of no importance. You yourself should know that. I'm not going straight to my hotel, and I don't want to leave the detector upstairs unguarded. I thought you might have a safe or a vault.
Well, I will gladly take care of it for you, Doctor.
Well, see that you do. If anything should happen to it, I'd never forgive you. Good night.
Good night, Doctor.
What could be sweeter?
Do you mean you're going to borrow it now?
I may never get another chance. Wake up, Flash. We're going for a ride.
Oh, please don't take me for a ride, mister. I ain't done nothing.
Take it easy, Flash.
Oh, excuse me, sir. I must have been dreaming.
First, we'll take the professor and Miss Babs home. Then you and I are going to do a little sleuthing on the other side of town.
Yes.
I knew that Draper was lying.
What did the thing mean, jumping around like that?
It means that you and I are pretty good detectives, Flash. I'm going to take a look around the outside of this place. You stay here in the car and wait.
Yes, sir. I'll stay in the car, but I won't guarantee you the car will stay here.
And it better stay here.
Get out of that car. Oh, right now I'm scared, but about in half a second, I'm going to get mad, brother. When I get mad,
Flash, you know,
succeed in his fiendish plan to steal the Metallogen Man? Will Thor, the ape, revert to his killer instincts? Don't fail to see A Scream in the Night, the 7th exciting episode of The Monster and the Ape, at this theater next week. who is opposed to the man who calls himself Dr. Draper, decides to look for the stolen Metallogen alone. The search leads him to a paint factory, which is shut down for the duration.
Mr. Ken, how come this here rabbit is at this place when I know we left him at the laboratory?
You can thank Ernst for this. Now let's get this robot out of here and call the fire department.
Don't make sense to me saving this here rabbit when he just tried to track you down and dispose of it indefinitely.
There's no time to argue. Let's get out of here before the whole building goes up in flames.
So, you two bungled again.
Not us. You're the one that messed up everything.
How dare you make such a statement?
Well, it's the truth. If you hadn't sent the robot over there to interfere, Morgan wouldn't be alive to tell the tale.
How do you figure that out?
Butler had him trapped, and I started a fire which would have left no trace of him.
That's right. He tried to throw me in the fire. We had to take a powder out of there to save our hides.
Well, maybe it was my fault. I should have warned you in advance.
And that's all there is, except that by the time Flash and I got the Metallogen man into the back of the car, the fire department arrived and put out the blaze.
Getting the robot out of here and using it to attack you must be the work of Ernst.
There's no question you're right, my dear. But there's one big point that puzzles me.
You mean how Ernst knew we were going out to that place last night?
Precisely. I'd hate to suspect Dr. Draper of being involved in this.
Shh. Careful.
Well, if we're going to continue our search for a meteorite, we'd better get started. I can't afford to waste any more time than necessary on this project.
It's our time you've been wasting. The question is why?
I don't like your tone of voice, Morgan.
I'll be glad to change it. Just as soon as you explain why you misled me about there being no meteoric substance near the paint factory.
Why are you so positive there is?
I borrowed your detector and went back there last night.
You took my property without permission?
Yes, and I proved to my satisfaction that you lied to me. Your detector clearly indicated the presence of metallogen in some form.
That's all the impertinence I intend to take from this young upstart. There's your agreement. Null and void.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Let's not be too hasty, Doctor. I'm sure we can iron everything out to our mutual satisfaction.
It's no use arguing. I'm through. Just give me back my detector, and I'm on my way to Marshallton. Well, where is it?
Right over here.
You've ruined it.
It happened accidentally, Doctor, I assure you.
I'm sure it isn't seriously damaged.
It's absolutely no use to me now, and you can keep it. I'm going to sue for this outrage.
Well, that upsets all our careful planning. I can't blame Dr. Draper for being offended. You took entirely too much upon yourself without his authorization.
It won't do any good to blame Ken, Dad. It's done, and we have to make the best of it.
I'm sorry, Professor. Maybe I shouldn't have borrowed the detector without his permission, but I'm not worried about him suing us. I'm sure this can be easily repaired, and if it'll help us locate some metallogen, we'll still give Draper his share. Agreement or no agreement?
Ken is right, Dad. You'll see.
I hope so.
You certainly handled that situation nicely, but it's too bad you had to leave the detector there.
What do we need it for? If Morgan really discovered a meteorite near that paint factory, all we have to do is dig for it, make sure that he doesn't get there before us.
How are we going to do that?
If you remember, a long time ago, the city started to bore a new sewer tunnel into that neighborhood.
Yeah, but they ran into a hard rock formation and had to change its course.
Exactly. And that hard rock formation is actually the meteorite.
Maybe you're right. But how can we dig it out when the city's powerful equipment couldn't even budge it?
We don't have to. We let the metallogen man do it for us.
Now we'll see how this reacts to the metallogen in this disk.
I have my fingers crossed.
No, it's beyond repair.
There's only one way out of our difficulty. I'll run over to the hotel and try to square things with Draper.
Yeah, as likely as not, he's checked out of there by now.
Well, in that case, I'll run up to Marshalltown and talk to him in his lab.
That's the thing to do, Ken.
Come in. Pardon me, I'd like to see Dr. Draper.
I'm sorry, but Dr. Draper's in the Bayview Hospital.
Since when? I saw him only a few hours ago.
You must be mistaken. He's been on the verge of death for several days.
That can't be.
Don't tell me, mister. I called the ambulance myself. Somebody attacked him here and fractured his skull.
Is he a medium-sized, bald-headed man with a heavy beard and thick glasses?
That's right.
Do you think they'd let me see him at the hospital?
Well, he just regained consciousness. I can't say if they'd allow anyone to visit him.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Remember, you can only stay a moment, and don't say anything to excite him.
Right.
Someone to see you, Dr. Draper.
My name is Ken Morgan. I'm associated with Professor Arnold of the Bainbridge Laboratories.
I'm glad you came, young man. I had a date with your colleague to demonstrate my detector before that lunatic attacked me.
Yes, I just found out about that. I have an idea who it might be, but I haven't any proof.
Go to my office, find a motion picture camera, have the film developed, and you will have your proof.
Do you mean to say the police haven't found out about this?
Not yet. You tell them for me.
I'm sorry, but I'll have to ask you to leave now.
Thank you, Doctor, and a speedy recovery.
you just take it easy now and stay up there in your hutch. One of these days, I'm going to have you doing my work, and I'll be sitting up there on the throne.
This is a stick-up, mister. One false move and I'll drill you.
I won't move, sir. No, sir, not me.
Now walk straight ahead.
Straight ahead?
Further.
Further?
Further.
Oh, further.
Further.
Now, look here, mister. I can't go through these here walls. Or can I?
Do as I say or else.
Oh, what I'd give to be a ghost.
You know who I am?
No, son, I don't want to get acquainted.
I am the killer. The killer.
That's what I thought you said.
The Killer is a crime production. See it at your local theater.
Flash, what's the matter?
Are you laying down on the job again, Flash?
I did. I can hear the music of the angels.
You were listening to the radio. We heard that crime program as we drove over.
You know, it's a crime going around scaring people half to death.
Well, Mr. Morgan telephoned us to the house saying he was back in town for us to meet him here.
Yes, sir, right this way. I want to show you something. He hung those things I ordered this morning, but he didn't say what kind of picture he's going to show. Good morning.
Well, what's this all about, Ken?
Yes, what's all the mystery?
You no doubt recall how upset you were when I had that run-in with Dr. Draper.
I only questioned the wisdom of antagonizing a man of his reputation and standing.
The reputation and standing of the real Dr. Draper is above suspicion.
The real Dr. Draper?
Yes. Now, if you'll give me just a moment, I'll put this film in the projector, and I promise you a surprise. Flash, will you close the blinds, please?
Yes, sir. It's been a long time since I've seen a moving picture.
Turn that radio off too, Flash.
Yeah. Now, hold your breath, folks.
Just one thing more, Doctor. In case your deal with Arnold doesn't go through, where in Harrisville can I contact you?
At the Standard Hotel. Now get out.
Thank you, Doctor.
You can open the blinds now, Flash.
Yes.
And to think that Ernst was able to pull the wool over our eyes that way.
What became of the real Dr. Draper?
He's in the hospital, very critically injured.
Oh, I owe you an apology, Ken.
Forget it.
I just thought of something. Ernst knows all about the location of the meteorite.
By Jove, she's right. But what can we do about it?
I suggest you and I take this film over to police headquarters. After they've seen it and heard all the facts, they'll figure out some way to help us.
That's a good idea, Ken. You don't mind waiting here till we get back to you?
Not in the least. I have loads of work to do on your book, so go ahead.
Ernst.
That must be Nordic. You sent for me, boss?
Yes, we'll need that ape tonight to get that robot out of the Bainbridge laboratories.
Why don't we walk him over like we did before?
Because Arnold no doubt has removed the metallogen disc and it won't operate without that.
I follow you. Now, suppose you want me to take him to the tunnel sewer.
That's right. But be sure not to use the entrance leading out of the paint factory. I'm positive the police have set a trap there. You know how you come in on this, Flint?
I know what to do.
Remember, no more slip-ups.
Will the Metallogen Man prove a fiendish device for a novel murder? Will Ken Morgan be able to forestall impending disaster? Don't fail to see Death in the Dark, the 8th exciting episode of The Monster and the Ape, at this theater next week.